Uh-oh, I did the wrong one. No, I did the right one. Ha. Oh, no, come on. Don't tell me. Ooh. Okay, so it looks like I'm having big trouble getting people admitted into the program again. Oh, so frustrating. All right, Zoom. If you're trying to log into Facebook, Zoom is sucking right now. I mean, log into Zoom. Okay, so it looks like I'm having big trouble getting people admitted into the program. Oh, so frustrating. All right, Zoom. If you're trying to log into Facebook, Zoom is sucking right now. Log into Zoom. Sorry. Um, I'm having trouble. Zoom is not letting me log anybody in. That sucks. Okay, so look, I'm gonna just roll. I'm gonna tell whoever's trying to come in on Zoom to actually just come and watch on YouTube. And here is the, why am I hearing myself? There we go. All right, here we go. Copy. All right, let's see. No, it's not letting anybody in. That is so upsetting. It says 4 participants, but really there's only just me. Me trying to get people into this meeting. Okay. Wow, Zoom. There's Susan made it. Hey, you made it, Susan. Wow, that's cool. Let's try and see if Rose can get in again. Let me see. It looks like Rose is not able to get in. Can you see this message? Susan, you're on your laptop, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I'm wondering if it's people that are on their phones, but I think Rose would be on her laptop too, right? Or on her computer. I don't think she's been calling in from a phone.
I have no idea.
Okay, well, look, I'm sorry. I better, um, okay. Well, hey, Susan, I'm so glad that you made it.
I'm glad
So
to be
welcome
here.
to the call.
It's always nice to see your
Welcome to the
smiling
call.
face.
Well, thank you. Same to you. Same to you. All right, let me just get on with this because this happened last night in a session. Only one person could get into the call. So now I have to write Zoom and, you know, find out what their deal is. Like, what? Um, Hey, welcome to Jailbreak Your Heart and Howl at the Moon weekly live stream. Today we're going to be talking about the sun in Gemini and getting clear about one's desires. So I'm going to just talk about this for a few minutes and then I'll check in with Susan and whoever else just might happen to be able to get on the call. If I'm able to bring anybody else in on the call, we'll just see. We'll see how you all are doing and what kind of if you need any help with anything that you're going on currently in your life. All right. So, um, Sun in Gemini. So the Sun entered in Gemini on May 20th, and it's going to be in Gemini until June 20th. During that time, we all become a little bit more Gemini. And what that means is we become more like Geminis. Geminis are friendly, they are extroverted, they are um, very passionate about what they feel. They're more passionate about what they think. So these are people who are ruled by their mind. They are ruled by the planet Mercury. So they tend to be very cerebral. They tend to think a lot, to talk a lot, to express themselves and their feelings and what they're going through, their opinions. They're very expressive, chatty people. So, right now, with the sun in Gemini, we are more expressive and more chatty. So, what I'm noticing in myself, and Gemini is also known as the sign of brotherly love. So there's a lot more um, tenderness with us, but it's not the tenderness that comes like from being like an emotional person, like our Pisces or Scorpio or Cancer. With Gemini, it's more of a heady tenderness. Like you connect with another person over ideas and you all get into this groove. Like here's person A with an idea and here's person B with an idea. And it's like A and B are with their ideas and they're chatting away and it feels amazing to be talking, even if you all have, controversial opinions, you guys don't agree with one another. There's this kind of there's not the anger that goes along with an Aquarius. Like I'm an Aquarius. If the sun's in Aquarius and you say something that I disagree with, I'm gonna look at you like you're crazy, like, what? And I'm gonna blow steam out of my nose and I'm gonna be like, let me mow you down. I want to mow you down. with Gemini, with Gemini, we become much more like, okay, like, oh, I totally hear that. Yes, I can feel where you're coming from with this. And at the same time, I just really believe like we're just all in our thoughts and then we're in your thoughts and we're just making them all get along because it's brotherly love. Your brother might be different than you, but you're not going to be mad at him just because he's different. You're going to love him anyway. So that's the spirit of Gemini. And what I want to talk about today is this kind of thing that I'm noticing around self expression. So, Gemini, even though it's an air sign, it really strongly influences your throat chakra, right? So a throat chakra is or your throat, your throat chakra is an energy center. And it's the energy center that's responsible for your speech, for your how you express yourself, for communicating, right? So your throat is here, but it influences your throat, but also your mouth and your ears. So right now with the sun in Gemini, we have a chance to work on the throat chakra, how we speak, but also how we hear information. So if someone comes up to you today and says, "Oh, you look pretty today," like how you hear that is either going to be through the lens of, "But aren't I pretty every day? Why did you say today?" Why am I pretty today? Why did they say that? What do they mean? What do they want from me today? Right? Or is it, you look pretty like you just are, right? How are you interpreting that statement? That is where your ears come in. And your throat chakra is responsible for how you interpret messages you receive through your ears, but also um, messages that you receive through your body. So, throat chakra is responsible for all messages received. So, for example, if I pick up this bottle of antibiotics and hold this bottle in my hand, and it feels, I'm perceiving something that feels off with it. It doesn't fit my hand, for example, or it feels like it's a negative vibration. That's also a sense that's coming through, and it's a message that's being communicated. Okay, so all of this is throat chakra stuff. You know, if I put my feet on the carpet and I feel comfort and soothed, that's also a throat chakra um, interpretation, even though it's coming in through my feet. Right? So, throat chakra is responsible for messages received. Throat chakra is also, and sorry, I'm trying to mention things that are a little more subtle. So right now I'm looking outside and I see trees and I see light. Obviously, those are messages that are coming in through my eyes, through my senses, right? The sense of sight. But your spirit guides also communicate with you through your senses. So right now, um, with the sun in Gemini, we have a really good opportunity to work on how we receive messages. And this is all throat chakra stuff. Okay. So the things that you want to be on the lookout for right now are problems around your throat, around your mouth, and around your ears, but also around your senses, and particularly your ability to take in messages. So if you notice numbness or tingling in your feet or in your hands, then this is an issue of the throat chakra. And this is something that you can take on while we have the sun in Gemini. If you're having trouble with your vision, even though vision is technically a part of the third eye chakra, understanding that how you're taking in messages through your eyes is throat chakra, and you can work on that while the sun is in Gemini. Now, as an example of how you take in images through your eyes and why this is throat chakra, if I'm wanting to have more connection through my spirit guides, I want to be able to receive clear messages from my spirit guides. Very often, we try to go into ourselves, we close our eyes, we shut down our senses so that we can be more internal. That's a traditional way of working with your spirit guides. We can go on a meditative journey and tune into our body and listen to our body to receive those messages. Very traditional. What we tend to ignore, or what we don't maybe emphasize enough, is the ability for most people to receive messages through their senses from their spirit guides. A lot of people are aware of the olfactory sense through the nose. When you're, the spirit of your grandmother coming in and you smell that rose perfume, that she used to wear. That's very obvious. But also understanding that spirit, you can intentionally receive messages from spirit through your senses, your taste, through your nose, through your sight, through sound, through touch, etc. Right? So For example, as I said, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at these trees, and I can use my third eye to determine or to decipher the messages that are coming from these trees. But I can also use my throat chakra as a way to give voice to those messages, as a way to help me find words for those messages, which will help my brain be able to make another level of deciphering of those messages and also to be able to communicate those messages. So, writing, speaking are also things that are really important for us to do and to practice and to nurture while we have the sun in Gemini. All right. So I feel like these trees want to give me a message to share with you. So let me just, in this moment, I wish I could share with you what I'm seeing, and maybe I can by doing this with my phone. I'm just in the mood for a little silliness. If I turn this around, oh, then I see me, which is just a little scary. But boom, can you see the trees? Yes, it's quite a beautiful view, right? It's like nothing but trees. All right. Okay, so these are the trees that I'm seeing. And the message that I'm getting from these trees is like these trees are obviously very old. So I'm getting a sense of for those of us who are listening, those of you who are listening within the sound of my voice, the message is to understand that you are like these trees. And even though, or you are the tree, and what I want you to do is to just where you are, ground into your space. Feel your roots, your energetic roots flowing downward into the earth. And in this moment, the more willing you are to give over yourself to the process of listening, to receiving, and to going deep into the earth, the more solid and stable is your connection, the more tree-like you are. Now, these are redwood trees. I'm in Northern California, and so the roots go very, very deep. And the message that these trees want to give my tribe, my people, is that you are safe. There is safety in being a tree. The safety in being a tree comes from being connected to the earth. This tree is connected to the earth. It's not a potted tree. It's not a potted plant. And that's what, even though we have legs and even though we are mobile, though we make decisions about where we go and what we do every day, we still have the ability to stay connected to Mother Earth through just the very nature of gravity. That's a strong enough force to help us feel connected and rooted and safe in the world. So even if we are traveling, I know that Rose and Susan and myself, Rose is not able to get onto the call today, but I know that she is also someone who is not in her home. She's not she's a voyager. She's living in a place that's different. Susan is living in a place that's different. I'm living in a place that's different, right? Dorta, the compassionate gardener, is here with us, but she, I believe, is in her home, although she does have a feeling that she wants to be in Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. Dorta, you can correct me, okay?
Well, you're definitely not mistaken.
Okay. So,
But I'm saying that, sorry to interrupt, I'm saying that, where I am, it's very much like in Ireland, the
okay,
area.
very good.
So
You feel like you're at home. All right, very good. So, the message that these trees have for us is number one, the thing I'm going to add to the message is that home is where the heart is. And I think that it's really important for all of us to remember that our heart lies inside of us, and that our connection with our heart, our connection with our desires, our connection with love, our connection with the radiation of our heart is the power for us to actually um, have safety. The heart is ruled by the number 4, and the number 4, we're in the 2020 year. So the number 4 is really big this year, and it's 2020, not 1111 or not, the year 0004. It's 2020. So this 2 is like this divine feminine coming together to form this actual heart space. So understanding that home is where the heart is, and it's through this heart energy that we can reach down into the earth to create a sense of safety and security wherever we go. So the other message that's coming from these trees is that now that you understand that you are safe, the question then becomes, what are you, human, going to do with this safety that you are entitled to, this safety that is created for you, um, or that you have created within yourself, but that was created for you by the nature of Mother Nature. So that is something that I think is really interesting and really Gemini, because Gemini is a sign of curiosity. It's the sign of being open in the upper chakras. It's the sign of creativity, being able to see something in your mind and to be able to bring it into form. That's the nature of Gemini, even though that usually comes in the form of artistic expression. So whether it's being a visual artist or planting gardens, having a vision for a garden and being able to bring it forth in an artful, heart-centered fashion, whether it's having a business, being able to bring it forth in a art-centered fashion, whether it's through music, being able to express yourself. This is all the realm of Gemini and the opportunity that's being presented here. Now, this last thing I'm going to say about Gemini is that Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and Mercury is the patron of merchants and thieves. Merchants are people who have things that they are moving. Mercury is about moving. And this Gemini energy is about moving ideas from one place to another. For me to have an idea and to share it with you, that is movement, that is Mercury's realm. If we, as business people, as heart-centered entrepreneurs, what we want to understand is that what we are offering as our business, services, products, and messages, right? All of those things are being heightened right now, and they are very important for us to understand so that we can nurture those things within ourselves, to nurture in ourselves our services, our products, and our messages. What is it that we want to give birth to in the form of service, product, and message? Okay, getting clear about what that is inside of us, inside our brain, inside our emotions, inside our energy, and inside the material, how we want to actually birth that into the world. Those things are really important because this is where Gemini is able to give us a lot of support through the relationship with Mercury. All right. So this is a great time for us heart-centered entrepreneurs to really think about what it is we want to manifest. Um, do you want to um, give birth to a program? Do you want to give birth to a blog? Do you want to give birth to yourself as a new kind of reborn version of your old self, who you were as a business person 5 days ago? Is that the person you want to be going forward? For me, I'm feeling a very strong urge to expand into the newest version of myself. I feel like there's a new version of me that wants to come through. And I want to know who she is, but I don't want to only look at her from the outside, like how are my clients seeing me? How are my prospective clients seeing me? How are my students seeing me? I don't want to see that yet. That's fine. But what I want to do is start with who I am on the inside. For me, I consider myself and I identify as a spiritual philosopher first. First, I'm a spiritual philosopher. Then I'm a spiritual life coach and businesswoman, a heart-centered entrepreneur. So those three things go together. Life coach, heart-centered entrepreneur, those are second, but those come after me being a spiritual philosopher. So for me, writing is the most important thing that I do, and expressing my spiritual philosophy here through videos, through classes, those things all come first. Then the work that I do as a coach and heart-centered entrepreneur come after that. So I'm coming to terms with that and what it means. I feel the need to explore how to be more of the spiritual philosopher um, in the three-dimensional world, how to write more, how to create more offerings that reflect the fun and playful nature of being a spiritual philosopher. And of course, how can I monetize some aspects of that? I don't want to monetize everything I do. That's not at all interesting to me. But there needs to be support for the heart-centered entrepreneur and for the spiritual philosopher, because y'all know that philosophers are notorious for being broke ass motherfuckers. Okay, like if you look back through history, all the philosophers were living off of living off. We needed patrons, we needed people to support us, right? So I'm just saying that I need to monetize and create a source of income for the spiritual philosopher in me. And spiritual philosophers, all philosophers are artists, just like painters, musicians, etc., etc. We're artists, and Lord knows that old paradigm of the starving artist is dying. So this is where I come in. I'm helping to bridge that gap between being a starving artist and being a heart-centered entrepreneur that actually thrives spiritually and materially. All right. So on that note, I'm going to end my ramblings, my going on and ons, and I'm going to open up the floor, and I'm going to check on YouTube. Hopefully Rose caught on that I'm looking for her over there. And I'm going to let Susan and Dorta, you all can unmute yourselves and give me some feedback on what you're going through right now, whenever you're ready. And I'm just checking on YouTube.
Hello, ladies.
Hey, Dorta.
How are things?
Good, thanks. How are you, darling?
I've been actually good, I must say. I'm just coming on the balcony because we've got somebody for a visit. So I'm like, there's
Mm,
Spanish speaking in the background.
mm.
So it's been a very good day today, I have to say. We got up very early. We went to IKEA. Would you believe it? We went shopping.
You went social distance shopping at an IKEA?
Well, yeah, we took the tram, the buses, the first time taking public transport for free. So no one has to pay here in France. So you just hop on
Mm-hmm.
with your masks on, and basically everything is calm and relaxed and peaceful, just as I like it, because I get usually freaked out, very freaked out with too many people around.
Sure.
So it's too
Yeah.
intense for me. But I was surprised. Even now I don't feel tired. I was expecting tiredness, but no, I'm not. Funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
But please don't mind me if I don't look exactly into the camera. It's just kind of, I'm still getting used to that.
It's okay. That's all right, sweetheart.
It's just kind of, oh my God, I know. It's like being on stage.
It is a little bit, sure,
It is,
sure.
yes, yes. So I'm like kind of imagining nobody's there. I'm just talking to myself.
Well, how about you
So,
just talk to Susan and I, because we're the only ones you can see. So just be present with
okay,
us and we'd be cool
all
with
right.
that.
Okay, let me see. All three. Oh, yeah, look. Hello, everyone.
There. Now you see the three of us, right?
Yes, that's much
Excellent.
better. Yes, so I'm not just
Okay.
looking into space. So, what else would you like to know? Oh, I got
Well,
rosemary
look.
today.
Okay, wait, hold
Look at
on.
this.
So what we do on these sessions. Oh,
I just wanted to share.
beautiful.
It
That's
needed to come with
beautiful.
me.
That's a beautiful pot. Did you get that from IKEA?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's really lovely.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Rosemary,
Thank you.
representing strength. Yes, I
Yes.
completely love that. So look, Dorta, what we do on these sessions is
Hmm.
this is a very specific thing that we do. We're
Okay.
basically here to get any kind of coaching you need on a
Mm.
specific problem that you're having or a challenge that's going on for you. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to take a moment and just see what's coming up for you, then do. And what I'll do when you tell me what the challenge is, I'm going to give you a
Mm-hmm.
little coaching and I'm going to take a tarot card and we'll combine those to give you some information to move forward. And this is also for my beloved friends on YouTube who are watching. If you have a question or anything that you want me to look at, whatever your challenge is, just type in the information and then I will be happy to take a tarot card and give you my expert my expert coaching advice. Okay? All right.
Yeah,
Excellent. So if you want to take some time to think about that, Dorta?
I
All
will.
right, good. So then we can go with Susan. And Susan, what's going on with you today, darling? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
I won't. It just takes
Susan,
me a second to find the buttons.
you
But
have your hair down today. I think it looks so pretty. Susan, you've got your hair down. You look very sexy.
well,
Just
thank you.
saying. Mm,
A side note, I'm attempting this thing called the curly girl method, and it's the first few days, so it's a mess.
okay.
But thank
Well,
you.
it's working. Mm.
So, I'm trying to narrow it down to say it very concisely. And I was thinking about this before the call, so I'd be prepared. And then, of course, it goes out of your head because
Take your time, though.
I get listening to you, and then I'm like, oh, what was I going to say? Um, basically, right now, I am working on with my online groups. I'm doing, um, I really want to launch the membership, and we discussed it a little bit about how it's not right quite now. And I've done a lot of like the shadow work, and I've done with the You're a Badass with Money, and a lot of those exercises, which have been extremely helpful. I
Hmm.
feel like I cleared a lot of good stuff, and I've done a lot of good things. So it's more of um, kind of setting a good foundation. I don't want to have it thrown out there. So this week it's kind of a card dress addressing with things I'm doing to set a good foundation, which is I'm getting some expert speakers. I'm getting a lot of specialty things out there that I'm offering to people to kind of show them it's like, here's what I'm bringing to you. Here's what to kind of a little preview of the membership. And then to be like, if you join, it's going to be this, but on steroids. You're going to
Hmm.
get this type of thing, but so much more.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like I'm getting good engagement with it. I just want to make sure it's really solid in that format of being me as a authority and expert and other authorities, or I'm kind of a little hesitant with that, or if it should just be me, because right now people are just coming for me. And so adding in this other layer, is it a benefit or a hindrance?
How long have you been doing this, Susan?
I've been in practice for 10 years, and I've been online doing stuff for the last 7.
Okay, so you have a good following.
Yes.
Hmm. So what I think I might be hearing you say is you have established yourself as an authority and an expert.
Hmm.
And now what you're doing is bringing in other authorities to kind of leverage your energy and to add more value to your offerings.
Correct.
Hmm. Why does that feel? Why do you feel? Why is this a question?
Um, Partly because I know I have a different when I work with people, especially one on one. That's what they're very, very. Um, I provide something that's just different. It's just a different energy, that one to one. I am trying to get people to embrace the group dynamic and still get that one to one. And so it's a question of, is it going to dilute it or benefit and add to it with these other experts? Because I like the idea of other experts, because when I'm doing interviews for videos, I am so much more dynamic when I'm talking to another human than when I'm just talking to myself on camera. I feel like it elevates me as well as provides another dimension and another level to what people are getting. So I feel like it's a question just because I'm a little bit like, am I not trusting just what I have with myself as enough? Or, it's that dynamic. It's like, am I diluting me and that's what people want? Or am I adding another layer that's a benefit?
All right, so I want to clear some confusion within myself. This is just this
Hmm.
crystal sitting here a little bit confused. What I heard you say is when you are doing one-to-one
Hmm.
with a person, you have a certain experience and you have a certain thing that you give and there's a certain dynamic. But
Hmm.
then you said when you are kind of bringing a person into a group, did you mean like, I'm confused because it sounds like you're talking about moving individuals into a group setting.
Yes.
And then it also sounds like you're saying moving you into partnership or co-facilitating. So which are you talking about? Or are you
It's
talking about both?
it's me wanting to move individuals and just my audience into group settings, because a lot of my audience, um, it's a better price point and a better dynamic for them to be in a
Sure.
group,
Mm-hmm.
they need it. They need
Mm-hmm.
that support.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's more of a new thing. I've really been sticking to a lot of that one-to-one, and I've been wanting to do more group.
So what does the other authority, because you're saying all this in the same sentence, like they're all dependent on one another. So
They're not.
are you gonna be co-facilitating those
No,
groups
there will
with
not be
somebody else?
co-facilitating. They're just being guests brought in just to add different little, like, bonuses almost. They're
So
just being
why
added in to add in a flavor that's different than what I can bring.
okay. So why is it a question? Why do you think, is this a belief? What's your, okay, so what is your belief about partnership or co-facilitation?
Hmm. Um, wow. Two things come up when you said that. One is, in my past, I've had good experiences where having people come on, it's been good because, like I said, it gives me, I'm much more personal than just talking with a camera. It shows more of my personality, so it brings a good side out in me. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the positive. The negative is I've had people um, kind of almost just take over in a way
Right, sure,
and be like mansplain and other stuff when it's my platform, my thing, they're a guest, and they've just kind of steamrolled.
sure.
I've had that happen before, and I've had just people fall short. When I
Mm,
first graduated med school, I did a lot of partnership retreat type things, and I ended up doing all the work
mhm.
type thing,
Okay.
which is, I think, why anytime you were saying, "Oh, is it a partnership? Or are you co-facilitating?" I was like, "Hell no."
Mhm, mhm.
It's it's definitely having them on as a guest.
Okay,
The
gotcha.
other thing about having someone on as a guest, it is the focus on them. So it's not a matter of them steamrolling me or anything like
Mhm.
that. It's their
You're
platform to
spotlighting
shine.
them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's it. Kind of, those two things didn't ever cross my mind because the having them as a, a guest is eliminates those things. I am doing all the work and I'm expecting to do all the work and I am,
Yes.
having them, but um, adding another person as a dynamic where I'm not in control
Mhm,
is an issue. I mean, I do have
mhm.
um, a belief because of past experience on there that I could work on
Sure.
clearing.
Sure. I'm wondering, and so the question that keeps coming up is, why are you asking the question? Because to me, this sounds like a very controlled thing that you're doing, where it sounds to me like, oh no, I'm running my groups, and what I'm going to do is bring in the occasional guest speaker.
Mhm.
Why is that a question that you're bringing here? Because it almost sounds like you're saying, is that the right thing to do, or am I deluding myself? Why would you associate bringing in a guest speaker with um, dilution?
Um, just because a lot of times, if they end up having a different message, like for instance, I just did a talk with this guy Richard, who is a very big foodie, and I like a lot of what he has to say about food, and I really wanted to bring him on for a lot of things. However, he is extremely unhealthy. Like before we started talking, he's like, "Oh well, bourbon and wine and this," and was talking about, he's like, "Oh yeah, my liver gets a workout and crazy," and I'm kind of in my head going, "Oh no, no, shush, shush, shush." I want to talk about food and travel and connection with people and the healthy, and I'm like,
Mhm,
so there's that, but the thing is, I
mhm,
believe in balance. I don't believe people need to be 100% perfect with their diets. I think it's good to let, have these, splurges and whatever. It's fine. But it's just like, so that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes um I feel like it's a dilution because sometimes people will, I'll have them on for specific things and they will kind of go very much off track of what I'm trying to present or my ethics or my message and my brand.
Right.
And
Right.
so it's a little risky with that.
Yeah, okay, so that sounds awesome. I totally, you explain that very, very well. I totally hear you. The thing that comes up for me is, aren't you safe and aren't you and your message safe in spite of adversity?
Yeah, and that's why I didn't mind when he did that. I just was in my head going, "Oh," and
Right?
laughing.
And I'm wondering because what it kind of feels like is this is an opportunity for you to have some wild cards and for you to demonstrate how to be in the presence with a different message and how to either, harmonize that message or to live with it or to alchemize it,
Mhm,
to see how, the frequency you're holding is going to raise that frequency if it's denser, or, bring yourself up, if yours is denser, right?
mhm,
So for me, I think that doing this, in other words, I think this is a great opportunity for you. I think it's a great opportunity for you to get really clear about who you are, to stand in grace with your message as somebody is spiraling off talking about, yeah, the way I deal with my problems is I get high. Like, all right, I'm gonna try to sit here and not look at you like you a wackadoo. I invited you to my show, but I'm gonna act like I am not mad at you right now, okay? Because that is not the message I want to be giving. But, to kind of allow that and to have fun with it, and see where it takes you. I think it feels really exciting and it feels like it's going to expand you to another level.
mhm,
It feels like it's a great opportunity for you to to develop something new, like a dialectic, like it's going to become like, okay, this is what I'm starting off, this is how this conversation is starting off, this is my intention, and then the other intention comes in, like, okay, well, this is my intention, I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to be wild and crazy. And it's like, okay, where are we going with this? Not that all your people are wild and crazy, I'm sure you choose very dignified people and all that kind of.
not necessarily.
Okay. Then you're gonna definitely have some fun. Let me take a card and let's
Mhm,
see who wants to. Oh, who wants to come forth is this blind spot. Okay, the blind spot. I'm going to use the blind spot deck by Teal Swan.
mhm,
Beautiful deck. Um, I know there's a lot of glare. It is
mhm.
really a beautiful deck. The messages that come from this deck are all very hard, though. um, because it's like they're designed to show you your blind spot. This is what
Yeah.
you're missing, right?
Mhm,
And so the sigil that I've pulled is short-term thinking, right? Number 30, short-term thinking. And there's an image. Let me see if I can fit the image
mhm. I can see
in
that.
between the glare. Right? And it says, if you've drawn this sigil, you're falling into the trap of short term thinking. You're not thinking and doing things with the long term implications in your mind, and this will come back to bite you. People tend to have strong preference for immediate payoffs as opposed to later payoffs, even when the long term payoffs far outweigh the short term ones. This may be leading you to making choices that your future self would prefer to not have made. The bottom line is this: if we are making decisions for the future or making choices for the right now, we will often make different decisions. So the question I'm throwing back to you, Susan, is this decision, or this decision to kind of bring in these guests, is this for the short term or is this for the long term?
I was thinking about definitely having it ongoing, not necessarily every week, but peppering it in like a spice to have
Hmm.
this ongoing. I do not have a long-term plan for like everybody I want to have on there because people just seem to come up
Sure,
randomly. But
sure.
I was thinking it would be a long-term thing with my
Yeah,
friends, especially with the membership. It would really help to keep the membership rolling in a way because if you have a membership, you always want to have something new and exciting that helps people like, hey, next month, if you're still a member, we're going to have this person come speak to us and
yeah,
this month.
yeah,
And so I was thinking long term with it, but
yeah. Fantastic. Because what that tells me is that you're not trying to um, get a short-term payoff.
mhm,
And for me, I'm interpreting this card coming in right now would be that if you didn't make the decision to do this because you were kind of concerned or afraid, then I would think that that would be short-term thinking. But I think
okay.
that the way you're describing this, that you are, by doing this, you would be looking more toward the long term, how to support your clients, in the long term, but also how to support yourself. Because
Mhm,
being a life coach it requires a tremendous amount of energy. It requires a tremendous amount of presence and, doing the writing and all this kind of thing, the program building that you're always doing. That's a tremendous amount of energy that you put out every week. So by bringing in a partner or someone, even if it's a partner just for a show, a guest, okay,
mhm,
for one day, that gives you a break. This is
yeah,
content you didn't have to create, although the marketing we know is huge for that, So, yeah, yes, it does create work still, but still, though, yeah, so that's my feedback for you, Susan. I hope that's helpful.
that is.
Very good. Awesome. Is there anything else that's coming up for you?
Mm, no, no, we can do Dorta, and yeah, I don't think. I mean, there's little things, but that's the big thing.
Okay, excellent. Very good. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you very
So
much.
you're welcome. Dorota, have you had a chance um,
To think about it,
to
what
think
might
about
have.
it?
Well, let's put it that way. I've been thinking and feeling a lot since
Okay.
Friday and Sunday again, after we last talked and saw each other. There was a lot happening.
Yeah.
Um, I was also supposed to do my third logotherapy
Mm,
workshop on Monday, but it was interesting enough. And I keep saying that to my partner: numbers, time, money, everything's just coming into one place at the moment. Before, for me, it's everything just becomes one and
mm.
confusing, especially because I'm observing it with others, if that makes sense. Like the
Okay.
juggling with numbers and timing, especially like with the Zoom, somebody might be there on one side of the world and then on the other side of the world, people are trying to connect with each other.
Yeah.
And the confusion starts, especially when it's not being confirmed, let's say 24 hours beforehand, if
Mm-hmm.
everyone is still ready to be there at that particular time. And it's maybe just 2 hours previous, and then suddenly it's not happening. People not coming together. Suddenly someone has other plans. So
Mm,
the confusion is right there. So,
Mm.
which not just the time, but it's also the person's money and effort had been put into it. So that's going to be postponed again. So I'm basically watching and observing how other people dealing with the whole issue of number, money, time, energy, because it all becomes one.
Mm.
And what I've posted there yesterday about your beautiful money book
Mm.
that you
Yes.
recommended for us.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you both read what I've, what I've
Hmm.
written and what came up
Yeah.
for me. It was quite interesting and intense because right now here in France, and I'm also following up what's happening in Europe, the rest of Europe, like in Germany,
Sure. Hmm.
if there are any changes in even in Ireland. And it's interesting this talk about the unconditional income.
Hmm.
And I know you ask what that means, the actual term, what to make sense
Hmm.
of it and stuff.
Hmm.
Because I do know in America this is not an issue. Maybe it is, and it's just me planting a seed for other people to have a different, perspective, how to deal with money, time, the whole energy thing. And because there has been so many people being laid off now,
Hmm.
unexpectedly, there has been talk in Austria, in Germany, in certain places of Europe, what to do. For example, my partner works in a company which is really big. It's an IT company, they're all over the world. And a lot of people have been laid off now, but they're still contracted, but they're getting money from the unemployment department, the same amount, but
Hmm.
there's no project for them. They're not working. So they
Hmm.
don't have to have this anxiety,
Hmm.
oh, I have no money coming in, or I must look for a new job now. No, they're
Hmm.
still employed. So
Hmm.
they're getting, so slowly but surely the balance is coming in. But that's not the unconditional income yet.
Hmm.
The actual unconditional income means that people like us who are entrepreneurs, sole traders, because they're the ones that can easily lose projects, clients, because people can't pay, they fall away. That this unconditional income is automatically there for everyone in
Hmm.
need. So basically, even if you don't have clients coming in, the money's not coming in. These 1,500 or 2,000 euros in that case
Hmm.
would be there, made available for everyone.
Hmm.
Either you're a sole trader or you have worked for a company. It doesn't matter because we're all in the same boat.
Okay. All right. So what does this have to do with what you're doing? What's the question for our call today, or the
The question would,
challenge?
the challenge, like that's coming up for me in particular, is like how to integrate or how to spread that particular seed around the world to
Mm.
allow people to look at money, that energy that is supposed to keep flowing. Because if
Mm.
it stagnates or it stays put somewhere, we don't grow, we
Mm.
can't expand. It's the same with money. How to spread it along to people who are in charge of it, who actually spread it around to make it available for everybody
Mm-hmm.
through any form of creativity. As you mentioned earlier, we're all artists.
Mm.
We're artists of life
Yeah.
and philosophers, and I've got musician friends who used to struggle until they found some balance in their life, that they know this is there, this unconditional income is there,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact I won't have a gig next week, or I can't go like Alanis Morissette, all these musicians, they can't go touring at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
that they know, okay, I was once a millionaire, now I'm one of everyone. I still
Okay.
have this foundation, but how to bring that around the whole world, that this seed is there to be planted.
So my question is, now what I'm understanding is that you didn't create this idea, that you've learned about this from someone else?
It's, well, to be honest, I both. It's been there. on the surface. And then I suddenly, like, let's say about 3 weeks ago, I saw this German website on Facebook called Wandel. Wandel means transformation, change. And I was like, what the heck is this? And I like to post certain things that resonate with me in the heart of the compassionate gardener, in that little
Mhm.
niche,
Sure.
because it helps me grow and understand humanity, what
Totally.
moves people. And so I got curious. I started to research, and I actually wrote to these people yesterday asking, basically, first of all, I actually said, thank you so much, respect, respect, respect for what you do. You speak from my heart and
Mm,
to my heart. It's like an exchange. What you
mm.
coming up with would help so many people who are struggling with time, money, all of that.
So
I want to know more.
you heard about this from
Facebook.
them?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
So I'm just
so it sounds like it's a very powerful movement that you're very excited about.
very.
And you're wanting to know like what role you can play in this
Hmm.
movement. Very good.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to go right to my cards and let's just see what cards come up.
Hmm.
The role that Dorta can play in this unconditional money or unconditional income. Um, oh, this is so interesting. This is really interesting because you've drawn the 9 of
Mm,
Pentacles.
very
And
fun.
the 9 of Pentacles represents a person who doesn't have to work for their money. Isn't that
Hmm.
interesting? So,
Yay.
so the idea when you look at this card, I'm sorry that there's a glare,
Hmm.
but if I turn this down, can you see the card better? If I turn down the light, is it a little more clear?
It is, yes. It looks like a piano in the middle, a piano player.
Exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
Let me just do one more thing, one more adjustment here. This card is really important. Okay, can you see it now? Is it any
Yes,
better?
yes,
Okay,
yes. It's much better. Yeah.
so what it
Mm.
shows is a woman who's playing this piano that is really integrated with this tree.
Mhm.
And it's interesting that I had that message that wanted to come in through the trees this morning because she's sitting on a on like a little nautilus, right? A little
Mhm.
shell. And
Yep.
and I'm going to look at this card so I can read from it
Mhm.
directly. And what she's doing is she's kind of gazing upward at this window, right? She's gazing upward at this pentacle or this
Mhm.
ball of energy. A
Yeah.
pentacle represents a coin, and the coin, of course, we can think about in terms of money, right?
Money.
Um, and so here she is. She's got her eye on the money, but she's playing this piano, which is directly connected to life, right? It's like the more she plays this life's piano, the more the tree grows and the more the money grows, you know? I love this card because it's like what the card is saying, you don't have to work for your money. You just have to play. So as I'm listening to you talk about, and as I read your post yesterday, what I felt, there are a couple of things. Like I thought, okay, that's a wonderful idea. And then I thought, and at the same time, this is already provided for us by God. This is already provided for us by Goddess. The more
Mhm.
connected we are, the more this is true. And this card to me really affirms that, because what we do is we can sit there and we can look at the material world, which is, can be represented by money
Mhm.
if you want to, but that's just energy into material form. So we can
Mhm.
look at that. But what we have to do is create the music within ourselves. So, Dorta, you work as the compassionate gardener, right? You bring forth your messages through this vehicle, and you're spreading the word of God through your vehicle, right? God,
Mhm.
goddess, source of all, however you call it, right? You're priestess. We all are priestesses in our own right. We just aren't answering to a church. We're answering to the church of the self, and the people who follow us are the people that resonate with that message.
Mhm.
So the message that I'm going to give to you as the interpretation of this card and the answer to your question, how can I promote this, is to plant these seeds in your garden and to
Wherever you find them.
grow, to
Mhm.
play your piano, which is to plant your garden, to grow your garden, to nurture your garden, and to keep doing what you're doing. For
Mhm.
me, this means also doing your homework, doing your research, and developing your philosophy. If you want to take it to, because you said you want to take this to the people in charge, then if you're going to do that, then you need to package your stuff in a way that they can understand, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And so that will be a part. That's one part. It's not all of it, but it's one part of everything that you're going to create around this.
Cool.
How does that feel for you?
Exciting. I mean,
Mhm.
truthfully, it is really exciting. I mean, me of all people ever thinking about stuff like that, to be honest, and then like putting the little seeds in it. Because I mean, you were mentioning that the other day that you have a housemate who's really sciencey, a scientist.
Yeah.
My partner is also like that. So he
Yeah.
sometimes looks at me in complete disbelief. Really, Dorota? Really? And I can see it that it just goes through one ear and out the other because it's very hard for him. But throughout the last 3 years, we've known, been living literally like close with each other.
Mm.
Um, he had no other choice but to get to know me better. That
Yeah,
I'm a bit of,
sure.
away with the fairies, and
Mm.
I I dream, but I mean, he's noticing things that they come true. It's
Mhm.
like as if I'm pushing it and it's coming true. So yeah, it is very exciting. And it
Yeah.
speaks to me. It does speak to me.
Yeah, I'm glad, because to me the message, and especially this message with the 9 of coins, is the message is don't try so hard. Just
Mm-hmm.
do what you're passionate about. Follow your passion, follow your
Yeah.
excitement. That's
Yeah.
what it says. And the message that comes along with this card is always you are supported in this endeavor. Just don't make it about the money. The moment you turn and make it about the money is going to be the issue, right? But this is exactly what you're saying. When you're saying, hey, it shouldn't be about the money. So I think that this is
Exactly.
a double affirmation of this
Mm-hmm.
project and what you're doing. At least, enjoying the process of creating it. I think it can go places and take you places that will, you know, that are exciting.
Yes, it is. Get the goosebumps. Woohoo!
Ah, excellent. Excellent.
Cheers.
I love that. I love that. Very good. All right. So,
Thank you.
um, you are very welcome. Um, all right. So, ladies, I think it's time for us to call it a day. If there's anything else before we sign off, then please unmute yourselves, or you can just unmute yourselves. Is there anything before we sign off? Anything you want to say, you want to share? All right, excellent. So thanks for joining me today. I'm very happy to have you, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week when we will do this again. Hey, good luck with the Sun in Gemini. I will be posting our next module for heart-centered entrepreneurs today and tomorrow, okay? So I will see you all in the group. I will see you all on Sunday for our regular group meeting, and you will have some stuff to work on in Prosperity Garden starting later today and tomorrow. All right? All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Thank you.